Hello and welcome to another edition of our Douglasville Impact Community Podcast. Today, we've got a special bonus episode for you. As you'll notice, we don't have our regular crew here at the table. We just have our special guest, Miss Penelope Davis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Miss Davis is a local artist in our community, and she is actually featured in our current Art on Loan here at City Hall in Douglasville. So we've partnered with the community, the Cultural Arts Council. So they bring out art once a quarter, and they put all the art on the walls here at City Hall in the main lobbies and everything. So right now, this current quarter, we are featuring local artist, Miss Penelope Davis. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for making our City Hall beautiful right now.
Oh, we try.
We've got a lot of positive comments about the stuff that's on the walls right now. It's all really good stuff. So we wanted to have you out and just talk a little bit about you, talk about what you do, talk about a little bit about your art, talk about the fact that you are doing art in our community, which we love. It's a big push for the city, a big push for the mayor to focus on art.
Yes.
And it's just something that beautifies our community. So let's just jump in and talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about Penelope.
Well, I'm Penelope Davis. I am an artist. I also have a job that I have to work too. But other than that, I've been painting for ever since I can remember. I started basically, though, in high school, like really starting to do actual canvases. Before then, it was just paper and pencil and crayons. Yeah. But by the time I made it to high school, my art teacher there, she got me into it, and I haven't stopped yet. And if you walk into my house, you will see that there is plenty there to see. And if you come here to the City Hall, you'll also see there's plenty here, plus there's some at the Cultural Arts Center too. So I have a lot.
That's right.
And I'm originally from South Carolina. I've been in Georgia probably about 18 years, or give or take. Okay. And
you're local now.
Yeah. Everybody says, well, you're here now.
You're here now.
But other than that, I just paint. I draw, I use all types of medias. Use a lot of paper too, because I'm also a card maker. So therefore, I try to integrate some of the things into my cards and into my artwork using all of it. Yeah. So if you've ever seen any of my cards, some of them are painted, and some of them have the paper is taken into my artwork too, because there's one at the Cultural Arts Center right now that is the main object of it is made from paper. And
very cool.
Yeah, so the dress is called the quilt, and the quilt dress, and it's the dress and that hair are all paper. So it's different types of paper. So go by and take a look at it.
Yeah, so you mentioned it's on display right now at the Cultural Arts Center.
Yes.
So you're part of an exhibit going on right now at the Cultural Arts Center that started in January, and it's got a couple more weeks at the center, right? It's
be there until the end of the 21st.
Yeah.
I think the 21st is the last day you'll be able to see it.
Okay, so you're part, and that's kind of a focus on that's their African American History or Black History Month exhibit and stuff. And you're there because you look at your stuff, and it's got a little bit of that in there, but it's not the typical. No. Traditional kind of Black History Month stuff or African American history. You've got your own kind of spin
got my own little
right?
take on it.
it's Penelope.
Yeah, it's totally me. People say that my work looks like me, but I look at it and I don't really see it until somebody says something about it. It's just like one time a lady told me, she said, "You use a lot of gold, don't you?" And I'm looking at it and I'm like, and I happen to look at my pictures and I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. But I don't really realize that I'm doing that because I'm just a color person. I've always been. So therefore color is, and if you look at my work, you will see a lot of color. I don't use a lot of the grays and the darker colors, but I love color.
Love that. I love that it's not like you set out to say, all right, I'm going to make this piece and it's going to be this color. It's going to have a lot of this in it, or it's going to look like this. You just set out to say, all right, I'm going to let the creativity just go. Basically, because I've had one of my friends tell me that
all my ladies are different because I do a lot of ladies. I do men. I just don't do them that often. But
Right.
I do a lot of ladies, and if you look at them, they're not the same. And I have tried to recreate the same, but it does not work out the same. Even
Yeah.
if I take the same drawing and do it over, there's something about the eyes that just does not fall into place again.
Yeah.
So
It's-
they all have their
yeah.
own set of eyes.
It's unique, and that's what art should be. Art should be
Yes.
unique. You know, you can recreate things over
Yeah.
and over again, you know,
Uh-huh.
for whatever reason, but it's a unique piece
Yeah.
because it is an overflowing of your creativity onto a canvas or
Yeah.
whatever medium you've got it going
Yeah,
into.
the only way you're going to get the same from me is you're going to have to get a print.
Right. And you do have a lot of variety. Just what we have here on loan at City Hall, you can look at all the pieces and you can see that they all have a very similar kind of artistic flow to them, but they're very unique individual pieces.
Yes.
It's not like, oh yeah, this is all the same series or something like that.
Yeah.
It's all Penelope.
Yes.
But they're all very unique pieces. There's a lot of
Yes.
variety within even what we have here. And this is
Yeah.
just a portion
Yeah,
of
that's
your
just
work.
part of it. Yeah.
There's another whole set over at the Cultural Arts
over at
Council.
Cultural Arts Center.
And you probably have another
Yeah.
rooms and rooms at your house where it's
Yeah,
just
I got-
everywhere, right?
It's up on the walls in my house too. I do display my own stuff on my walls. I said, well, if it can't be showed anywhere else, it'll be shown in my house.
Well, I love that you're just doing you're doing the art, and it's a passion for it's clearly a passion
Yes.
for you. And I love that you started in school. And so tell me a little bit. Let's back up to the high school.
Okay.
A moment in high school when you were and probably growing up, you did draw all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment in high school, so you're in an art class, and was there a particular art teacher that just kind of
Yes,
connected with you?
Marsha Langston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she saw something.
Well, I think I was really into art anyway by then.
Yeah.
So, every year I was in an art class. When I got in high school, I was in an art class. So, and I just kept working with it. Because I started off doing landscapes. That's mainly what I did
Yeah.
then was landscapes and boats and lighthouses and that type of stuff. But as I got more into the art, I started going into the florals. I did florals. I do like doing florals. And then from florals, I went into fashion drawing. And then from fashion drawing, I just went to portraits, faces, and that type of thing.
People are hard.
Yeah.
Faces and people. Yeah, I mean, so you can make some beautiful landscapes and some beautiful florals and stuff, but people are hard to do art-wise.
Because they're different. Everybody's different. And I really don't do a lot of realistic faces.
Right.
It's just not who I am right now. Maybe later down the line I'll start doing it, but right
Wherever
now.
the inspiration takes
yeah, because I can sit there and I draw my initial, the head, and then everything else comes afterwards. And the eyes, it's all for the eyes for me. If you can get the
Yeah.
eyes to do what you want them to do, then that's it. If the rest of
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's fine.
And if you don't get the eyes right, the rest of it's not going to look right.
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of like
doesn't-
something just doesn't
Yeah.
quite look right.
Yeah, but I also do a lot of faceless ones too.
Yeah.
Usually when I do faceless though, it's because I'm trying to show something else off in the picture as opposed to a face. Because I have the ones at the CAC is like 3 that are called flower gardens, 1, 2, and 3. Not very original, but that's how I did it. And they all have flowers in their hair
Yeah.
at some point. So I was trying to do the flowers as opposed to trying to get a face.
You got to bring in all that color you like
Yeah.
so much for the flowers, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that I just love the fact that you were in high school and somebody saw a passion in you and said, hey, we need to engage. That hey, you need to take this to another level. And now this is something 35 years later, or however long you've been doing the art, that is still a passion in your life and a
Yes.
major part of your life. This isn't just something you do. This is
Yeah.
what
is
you
what I-
identify as,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is art, and this
Yes.
is Penelope.
Yeah, it's me.
So something in high school, and an art class in high school has been such a huge part of your life
Yes.
for all of it. So we talk a little bit about the focus on art and art programs and art in schools and
Yes.
career pathways that involve art and things like that. And that's a very valid thing to talk about right now. There's a whole set of careers now that kids growing up now can target in a career path for art, especially with all the movie stuff going on in our area and in Georgia. And you've got animation and effects and things like that are all in those art programs and those art fields that are valid career paths now.
Yes.
So there's a lot of attention coming to that now, which in the past there's been a lot of it's art.
Yeah.
It's just art.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the point where we can put some valid, things behind it and say, hey, there's a career path for this. There's some career options, and even if it's not, it's just a passion in life that really, it's something good for everyone. If you've got a passion for art, it's a nice outlet, and it's great to have in our community. We're focusing on art projects in our community. The painted fire hydrants that are popping up around town that the CAC has done, that kind of thing. Public art is just something that makes a community in itself kind of more appealing and just a more attractive area. So I mean, it's just great to have art in the public, art in the community, art in the schools.
But it's art in everything.
In everything.
In your clothing, because somebody had to design it.
And that's true. It's everywhere.
Yeah. In the buildings, even they call it architecture, still somebody had to come up with that idea.
Absolutely.
And it's a form of art. So if you're into architecture or fashion design, hey, you're putting your spin on it.
Yeah. I think people envision when they say, oh, you're going to be an artist, they envision the
typical
artist in the park, maybe, and wanting to draw your caricature or something. But there's a lot of career paths that are art based. Like I said, the architecture, that's a big one. We've got a council person that's an architect who would definitely agree with you. It's everywhere, and it's in everything that we do, and it's just making our community more beautiful and more attractive is a huge part of that.
Yes.
And just like I said, it's just a passion for you. It's an outlet for you. So I love that you're still doing it, and you're making such a go of it. And we got your art here at the CAC. And I love that you found that connection within the schools. So it's just to show the importance of art in schools and those art programs and how they touch kids' lives and make a big difference, even at the high school and middle school level.
Yes.
Those art programs, that's where it starts.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And you're still going with it.
Yeah, I'm still going with it.
And no plans to stop, right?
No plans. I think I have every art supply and that you can think of because I like to try things. So I like to try a lot of things. I might see somebody doing something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? And I will go and research and see what they use, and I'll wind up buying it. Like I said, I have a cart in my house. It has all types of paint on it. It has all types of other things on it too, brushes and everything. So I'm always trying things, and I don't just work with the acrylic paints. I do the pastels and oils and watercolors. I've tried it all.
Kinds of stuff. I love that.
and I tell people whenever you want to get into art, start with the lower price stuff first, because it's not a passion that is cheap, okay? Because at this day and age, you use what you have to use. So I would say if you want to start off first, start with watercolor, because to me, it's one of the hardest things to render when you first start off. So start out, and you can get it a whole lot cheaper than all the other stuff. So, and you have all your colors right there, and you don't have to buy different, like with acrylics, you're going to have to buy different tubes of it. I mean, you can buy the little kits and everything, but
and they add up.
Yes, that adds up, because when you run out of that one set of white or black, that means you got to go out and buy another one, and you're usually going to use those colors first. So I would say the watercolors first, and then build from there. Because if you can master watercolors, I think you can master anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great tip. And they do a lot of classes and things like that at the Cultural Arts.
They do have
Center
some painting classes there. They're trying to get me to do a class there.
You totally should.
I'm working on that. I'm not a teacher per se, but I have done some classes before. But it was like a mixed media type painting class. So we did a butterfly and a dragonfly, and I don't forget what the other one was. It was a floral, some kind of floral or something. Yeah. And I did that for a couple of times, and I like doing it, but I have to come up with a plan, and I'm not used to making plans. I just kind of dive into stuff.
Well, you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
So our strength
Yeah, I
is in
don't-
the overflowing of the creativity. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily in the planning of the
I don't
structure.
follow rules either. So when it comes down to my art, I don't follow rules. You know, they say you're supposed to do this and do that, but I'm like, yeah, no.
And I think there's probably some different style. There's probably some artists that approach it that way and say, you got to do this,
Yeah.
and you got to do that, and you've got to have the golden rule and different
Yeah.
things like that. And then there's probably some that just go and say, you know what, this feels right.
Yeah.
This looks right. This is me spilling out onto the canvas.
Yeah, because
love that.
I tried going into, when I went to college, I tried going into it, but I was like, they're not doing art the way I do art. So I was like, no, thank you. I will continue to teach myself what I need
Yeah.
to do. Yeah.
And that's what's great about art, because it's art. By definition, it's not this
Yeah.
or that. It's whatever the artist
Yeah, what you see.
puts out there and says, this is me.
Yes.
This is my expression.
Yeah.
It's art, right?
Yeah,
So-
and just sometimes it's just my doodle, and it turns out okay. So,
Well, we've seen a lot of your doodles around City Hall. They're pretty nice.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. So, well, is there anything else? So you mentioned how expensive this is. Now, I know the stuff that we have on loan here at City. There's little price tags next to them, so if people
Yeah, there
want
are.
to, they can
Yeah,
actually
they
reach
can
out and
actually
contact
reach
you and
out,
purchase
yes.
stuff. How can they find you and your stuff? Do you have like a Facebook page or something they
yes,
can?
I have a Facebook page. It's under Penelope Davis Designs, and I used to post almost every single day, but I'm working, so it's down to maybe once or twice a month that I try to put something new on there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I try to hold back when I'm getting ready to do a show. I don't want to put all my stuff out there
Yeah.
because then you won't want to come to
That's
the
right.
show.
That's right.
So that's how I do a lot of my stuff, though. But,
Awesome.
if anybody wanted to get anything, they can call the Cultural Arts Center. They could get in touch with me that way,
Yeah.
too.
So if anybody wants to come down and just walk around City Hall and see what we got on display here, it's all available. It's all beautiful. There's also some stuff at the CAC, so you can contact
Yes.
the CAC for that, or you can visit the Facebook page to
Yeah, and it's all
add
for
to
sale.
your Penelope Davis collection. So excellent. Is there anything else you want to share with us about your art or what you're doing?
Well, like I said, art is me. That's who I am. If you see any of my pictures, you will see me in them mostly. But I just enjoy doing it, and I don't have any set rules of how to do something. It's just what you see in it. People ask me what was my inspiration in some of my pictures. A lot of times it really wasn't anything. It was just what came out. And then sometimes I can look at it after the fact and go, oh, that looks like, so it's what you see in it. It's
Yeah.
not what I see. It's how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
But I, per se, don't draw for people unless they really, 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 really ask me to do so.
I want this.
Yeah,
I want one that looks like
yeah,
that.
because that kind of just pigeonholes
hard,
me,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
get stuck, and I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do now? So I try to, if you like it, then
If it's a piece that connects
Yeah.
to you, it's something that if you're going to buy a piece,
Yes.
it's got to be something that, for whatever reason, you connect with. Because
Yes.
it's going to be hanging in your home, and you're going to be looking at it all the time.
Yes.
It's something you want to,
yeah,
have a
because you don't want
connection
nothing
to.
up on your wall that you can't relate to.
Yeah.
Because there are all types of art out there, and there is some art that I look at and I go, no, that would never hang in my house. So if you can't relate to it, then I would not encourage you to buy
No.
it. But
Yeah,
if-
and that's what people talk about art and talk about investing in art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, what should you buy? What's worth stuff? People could put all this money into art that they don't like
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because it's an investment. It's like, you know what?
And then what you
If
do
you
with
don't
it is
like
just
it-
hanging in your wall or in your vaults,
Yeah,
and you got a
yeah.
replica up on the wall. But no, I'm not like that, and I try to keep my prices at a range where people can actually afford to buy. I'm not gonna. I know I'm never gonna be a Michelangelo, or I'm never gonna be that. So I'm not gonna put that kind of price on what I do.
Right.
Because I like doing it. I do it because of that. Because
It's a
I
passion,
like
and
it. Yes,
it's something you enjoy doing.
the
Yeah,
money part
absolutely.
is great, but it's not a necessity
Yeah.
because, like I said, I do work. So, but if anybody likes the work, then great. Then by all means, buy it. And but like I said, it's not. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I like
It's
to do
passion.
it.
Yeah. And well, I just love that you're doing art in our community. You are a unique artist within our community, and you are a part of what makes our community great. So thank you
And thank you
for what you do. Thank you for helping beautify our City Hall for this few months.
Yeah.
And for all the stuff that you do with the Cultural Arts Guild and stuff in Douglasville and Douglas
Mm-hmm.
County. So thank you for being a part of our community.
And thank you.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. If you want to find more about Miss Penelope Davis, visit her on her Facebook page. We'll put links to it on our show notes so they can find all about you.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank
you guys
you.
for joining us. We'll see you next time.